Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be going through some books which I picked up some number of years ago. Some Terry Pratchett's. And I love Terry Pratchett. Um, I had a whole collection of the paperback Discworld novels. Just like built them up and up and up and up and up. And um, you know, I love the ones with death in. We've got a Mort here, and the city guard, the city watch, and the Rincewind stories. So when I picked these up, it was right at the beginning of when I was doing reselling, and I didn't know what I was looking for, and I wasn't particularly picking these up to resell. It was just a case of I think I'd got rid of my paperbacks some years previous, and I was thinking I wouldn't mind getting the hardbacks, and that's kind of why I got these. But when I got them I got them in a charity shop, and this is almost probably 5 years ago. I got a feeling that they might be a little bit special, and then I got them home and looked at them, and they were all first edition. Now I'm not an expert in books, and what I did was look on the internet, and I came across a publication from a group called Discworld Monthly, and they had a guide, an idiot's guide, perfect, to identifying Discworld novel first editions. And the person who wrote that was the I think it's like the editor, a lovely lady called Rachel Anthony Rowlands, and I messaged her on Facebook, and she was very helpful. And that was 5 years ago. And these have kind of, yeah, I've kind of not wanted to sell them, but I thought now's maybe the time to have a look again at what was in the Discworld Monthly publication in terms of sort of identifying them and seeing if I can get a valuation for them. Now, at the time, Rachel did message me kind of like rough valuations, and I've gone and lost that. But I can always look them up again now. I will do it live. So let's crack on. So what we've got here is the first 5 Discworld novels. So the first one is, I'm going to work backwards, build up the tension. So we've got Pyramids. So I'm just going to go to this guide on Pyramids. So it's talking about anything here released before Masquerade, which I don't know what number book that is, probably sort of like 8, 9, 10 or something like that. Was not published in letterbox covers, which is ones with like a band of colour here and here, and a little picture there. It'll have like Terry Pratchett, Masquerade, and then a picture there. So they weren't published in that. If I had a letterbox edition of this, it wouldn't be a first edition. So it says to check this by this author listed in the front of the book. Okay. Yes, all those books there were released before Pyramids. There are none that were released after Pyramids Detailed, so that sort of signifies that it's a first impression. Okay, so for Pyramids, it says that the publisher was just Victor Gollant. Some of these were published in association with Colin Smythe, but the original Pyramids was published on the 15th of June 1989 under just Victor Gollant. So 12,300 copies, and the ISBN should be 0575 04463 2. So that does look like a true first edition, limited to, well, I won't say limited, but there were 12,300 copies of that. It is in very, very good condition. All of these books are. One of them has a little nick. So I'm just going to have a little look on eBay now and see how much it's worth. I'm not expecting huge amounts, but we'll see how we go. Right, here we are in the wonderful Terra Peak of eBay, and what do we got? So I put in Pratchett Pyramids and sorted it by average sold price, although most of these people are only selling one. And the first one that isn't signed, so that's a signed, that's a signed, that's a signed, that's a signed. There's an unseen library edition, which I believe is a sort of like limited edition. The first one really looks like this one, which is sold for £75. So it looks like exactly the same ISBN. So £75 for the first one, which is pretty good. Let's move on to the next one, which is Mort. Here we go. I love this book. I thought it was so funny when I read it. I love the character death, but there's a slight, just a tiny cut in the dust jacket. But what does the Discworld Monthly say? It says it was published on the 12th of the 11th, 1987, and the first copies were produced by Victor Gollancz in association with Colin Smythe. So yeah, we have that, which is good. That was the first 3950 copies, 3,950. Again, the books, none of them are after the publication of that, and the ISBN should be 0575 04171-4, which it is. So again, that looks like a true first edition, according to that Discworld Monthly. So let's have a look at eBay and see how much it's worth. Okay, so yeah, finding these things aren't easy. There's a whole load of folio editions. Again, I've gone into Terapeak. You could go into sold listings, but Terapeak does give you 12 months. So here's the first one. It's first edition, second impression. Mine's a first impression, but it is signed. Some more folio editions. Terry Pratchett first edition, publisher's file copy. I don't think that's what I've got. I don't know what that is. There's another signed one. First edition, first print. This looks like this one here is the first one to kind of match what I've got, and that's sold for 155 plus postage. Almost double the price of the Pyramids one. So that's good. Let's move on to Equal Rights, which is the third in the series, going back to the first one. So let's just close that down. Right, we're on to Equal Rights. I thought I'd show you the actual thing I'm looking at that Rachel sent me very kindly. There she is, Rachel Rowland. And Equal Rights, published 15th of January 87. Victor Gollancz, I hope I'm saying that right. In association with Colin Smythe, and that one, let's make myself big, hang on. I can't get it, I'll do it in a minute, but this is in association with Colin Smythe. That was the first 2,850 copies. The ISBN should be 0575 039507, which it is, so that is good. Let me just... Rachel was so kind in taking time out to listen to me go on about this, but yeah, there we go, the ISBN and the publication on this page all match up. So again, another first edition. I mean, it is just wonderful having these first editions. I've kind of like loved having them. I love the covers. Josh Kirby, there we go. You know, that was, I think that's the thing that sort of like first attracted me to them. Let's have a look at this one on eBay and see how much this one's worth. Well, that one was a little bit easier to find. We've got a signed one up here, but then we've got the first edition, first print. And you know, bear in mind this is in order of price, so it's the most expensive first. Not always guaranteed to get these prices, but these are in excellent condition. So you know, I would think it'd definitely be top end. So went for just under £200 with the postage. So yeah, we're now on the first two, and I get a feeling these first two are probably going to be significantly more in value. But let's have a look at this one. The first one is The Light Fantastic. Oh, it's a great book, that is. Okay, looking at the guide, what we're looking for a true first edition, and the first sort of like 1,034 copies that were published in 1986 is the ISBN number 861402030, and the fact that it doesn't mention any reprints after this copyright statement. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at mine. Here we go. So published solely by Colin Smythe, 1986. This is in excellent condition. Just a tiny kind of little bit of wear, but you know, no real nicks. And looking at that section there, that is just the copyright statement, and no things on reprints there, and the ISBN. Terrible overexposure on my camera, but the ISBN matches up as well. So fantastic. And I don't know if it's also by the same author. There's no details on oh yes, there is. Well, that's interesting. By the same author. It's got 3 books not in the Discworld series, then The Colour of Magic, and then not yet published, Equal Rights. So that's quite funny. He obviously had it in his brain. Terry had it there. Maybe he'd just sort of like penciled it out. Who knows? But that's that one. Now we're getting on to The Colour of Magic, and I think there's quite a bit to this, so bear with me. Okay, so in terms of price of this book, again I've gone into Terapeak, and the first one, it's a true first 1986 Colin Smythe, no signature. That does match up with what I've got, and like I say, mine is excellent condition. No real tears or anything. Pages, they're aged, but no real browning or anything. So, I mean, look at that top price, 1390, which is incredible, really, and a hefty postage on it as well. So, I don't even know how I'd sell something like that. Like these haven't gone on eBay yet. I am just sort of like feeling out what the market is and going to eBay. I don't know if I know Aber. I think it's Aber Books also might be able to give prices. But yeah, my next one is The Colour of Magic, and there's a little bit more to this than meets the eye. Now, when I first saw this, I knew that well, it wasn't a Josh Kirby, and I almost left it for that reason. But I thought, no, well, I'll get it. It was only charity shop price, and then I had a look in the cover, and it said it was a book club edition, and that it was published in the US. And I remember talking to the lady, and I think she knew the person who'd brought them in, and she said, well, we'd never been to the US, so it was obviously bought in this country. And reading the sort of background about the publication of this, it does kind of make sense. So let me get what Rachel said about this. Okay, so yeah, a little bit of a head scratcher, but apparently it was published in the UK and the US simultaneously, but St Martin's, which were the publisher, sent out some copies to booksellers, which were sold prior to publication. There we go. Apparently that was what Terry's agent said. So I told Rachel at the time. So if you're looking at a absolutely first edition of the first 4,000 copies, firstly it's going to have 206 pages. Now this doesn't have 206 pages. It has 184 pages. Okay, so it says here, if your copy has the 206 pages and has this printing here, then you've got a true mega rare copy. I haven't got a true mega rare copy. And then there is even rarer copies of that, which have the binding in the wrong sort of jacket. So that's quite interesting. Then there's another edition, and it talks about the USA Book Club edition, which is the one I've got. So it's the Alan Smith cover, and it's 184 pages, which is what I've got, 184 pages, and it has a book club number of 6199. It says 1699. I think it's 6199. It says it here, and that's confirmed on the book. Again, I can't make this big at the moment, and it won't focus either, but that does say 6199 there. I'll show you it when I go to full screen. So yeah, it has 184 pages, and it also says the text was reset for the book club edition. That's why it's got less pages. And also, interestingly about this, after the let me make my screen big. See if we can see that number now. Still can't see it. There we go. It's a little bit blurred. But what actually happened after the UK edition had sold out, a load of these US book club editions were imported. Let's have a look. After the UK edition sold out before producing the 1989 printing, Colin Smythe imported 400 copies of the book club edition for sale in the UK. These would have had some form of Smith price sticker on, and some of them, it's not said here, we don't know how many, had a stuck over blurb on here. So it's kind of like this is either one of the 400 that was imported, or it was bought in America and brought over. But going on what the woman said when I bought it, I think it is one of the 400 because the guy had never been to the States. So it's all a bit of a mystery. But I'm going to sort of look up values based on that, and we'll see how we go. Now, as the Light Fantastic was like 1400, I'm expecting it to be like maybe more than that. So here we have a signed first UK edition 1983 first book. Sold for £22,000. Well, unfortunately mine isn't signed, but looking at this next one, Colour and Magic first edition, fine copy. Mine's a fine copy, absolutely fine copy, and that looks like it matches my one. I'm just gonna go full screen and go into the detail of that listing. I don't want to bring up anyone's sort of like personal details. So it says Colour and Magic, Colin Smythe, in good condition. Now, does it say whether it's a genuine first edition, first impression? So whether it's the same, I don't know. We'll have a look at the pictures. You want that picture of that first page. It's got the blurb kind of cut out and stuck over, but that I kind of think that could be, you know, anyone could do that. So let's have a look at this, if this matches up the British. It's got British Library cataloguing. Yeah, so it's not quite the same. So yeah, I don't think it's one of those. Colin Smith Gerard's Cross. No, it does look different. So let's go back to Terapeak. Yeah, there's a couple on Terapeak, which I think were up for about 300. Looks like they sold for 208, but they are in pretty rough condition. I was expecting that to be more than the Light Fantastic. I'm 99% certain that they were the part of the 400 that were bought in after the first edition had sold out, but of course I've got no what do they call it, I've got no proof of that, only the word of the lady in the charity shop, but I would think maybe, possibly a value of 300. It'd be good if there was a way of actually finding out whether it was one of those 400. That would be fantastic. But all in all, amazing really. I'm just really kind of like feel kind of quite honoured that I've been able to have these for sort of 5 years. I have got, I think I've got still got paperback copies of a lot of these. So I haven't read them, and it's terrible to have books that you haven't read. But I obviously have read other versions of the book, but just to hold them. But I am thinking of selling these now because I've had to buy a new boiler. So I don't really know how to go about selling them, to be honest. I obviously was thinking of putting them on eBay, but I might open them up to some of the Discworld groups and the community there. I don't know how payment works on that sort of thing, whether you just PayPal someone and trust that you send them. But it's something I'll find out about anyway. But for now, I hope you enjoyed that. Something a little bit different, and a rare find. Like I found these in my first week of reselling, and I thought, oh, this is fantastic. Every day's going to be like this. Unfortunately, not quite the case. Probably the best find I've ever had, and it was on my first sourcing trip. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. If you've got any comments on it, if you want to tell me if you like Terry Pratchett, tell me your favourite book in the comments and all that jazz. That'd be fantastic. I've got to read some of his later ones and catch up. But for now, if you liked it, please click like. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. Take care. And I'll see you soon. Take care.